In my defenselessness, my safety lies. Lesson 153. You who feel threatened by this changing world, its twists of fortune, and its bitter jests, its brief relationships, and all the gifts it merely lends to take away again, attend this lesson well. The world provides no safety. It is rooted in attack, and all its gifts of seeming safety are illusory deceptions. It attacks, then attacks again. No peace of mind is possible where danger threatens thus. The world gives rise but to defensiveness. For threat brings anger. Anger makes attack seem reasonable, honestly provoked, and righteousness in the name of self-defense. Yet is defensiveness a double threat? For it attests to weakness and sets up a system of defense that cannot work. Now are the weak still further undermined, for there is treachery without a still greater treachery within. The mind is now confused and knows not where to turn to find escape from its imaginings. It is as if a circle held it fast, wherein another circle bound it, and another one in that, until escape no longer can be hoped for nor obtained. Attack, defense, defense, attack becomes the circles of the hours and the days that bind the mind in heavy bands of steel with iron overlaid, returning but to start again. There seems to be no break nor ending in the ever-tightening grip of the imprisonment upon the mind. Defenses are the costliest of all the prices which the ego would exact. In them lies madness in a form so grim that hope of sanity seems to be but an idle dream beyond the possible. The sense of threat the world encourages is so much deeper and so far beyond the frenzy and intensity of which you can conceive that you have no idea of all the devastation it has wrought. You are its slave. You know not what to do in fear of it. You do not understand how much you have been made to sacrifice, who feel its iron grip upon your heart. You do not realize what you have done to sabotage the holy peace of God by your defensiveness. For you behold the Son of God as but a victim to attack by fantasies, by dreams, and by illusions he has made, yet helpless in their presence, needful only of defense by still more fantasies and dreams by which illusions of his safety comfort him. Defenselessness is strength. It testifies to recognition of the Christ within you. Perhaps you will recall the text maintains that choice is always made between Christ's strengths and your own weaknesses, seen apart from him. Defenselessness can never be attacked because it recognizes straight, so great that attack is folly, or a silly game a tired child might play when he becomes too sleepy to remember what he wants. Defensiveness is weakness. It proclaims that you have denied the Christ and come to fear his Father's anger. What can save you now from your delusion of an angry God, whose fearful image you believe you see at work in all the evils of the world? What but illusion could defend you now, when it is but illusions that you fight? We will not play such childish games today, for our true purpose is to save the world, and we would not exchange for foolishness the endless joy our function offers us. We would not let our happiness slip by because a fragment of a senseless dream happened to cross our minds, and we mistook the figures in it for the Son of God. Its tiny instant for eternity. We look past dreams today and recognize we need no defense because we are created unassailable without any thought or wish or dream in which attack has any meaning. Now we cannot fear, for we have left all thought, all fearful thoughts behind, and in defenselessness we stand secure, serenely certain of our safety now, sure of salvation. Sure we will fulfill our chosen purpose as our ministry extends its holy blessing through the world. Be still a moment and in silence, think how holy is your purpose, how secure you rest, untouchable within its light. God's ministers have chosen that the truth be with them, Who is holier than they? Who could be sure that his happiness is fully guaranteed? And who could be more mightily protected? What defense could possibly be needed by the ones who are among the chosen ones of God, by his election, and their own as well? It is the function of God's ministers to help their brothers choose as they have done. God has elected all, but few have come to realize his will is but their own. And while you fail to teach what you have learned, salvation waits, and darkness holds the world in grim imprisonment. Nor will you learn that light has come to you, and your escape has been accomplished. For you will not see the light until you offer it to all your brothers. As they take it from your hands, you will recognize it as your own. Salvation can be thought of as a game that happy children play. It was designed by one who loves his children and who would replace their fearful toys with joyous games, which teach them that the game of fear is gone. His game instructs in happiness because there is no loser. Everyone who plays must win, and in his winning is the gain of everyone insured. The game of fear is gladly laid aside when children come to see the benefit salvation brings. You who have played that you are lost to hope, abandoned by your father, led alone in terror in a fearful world, made mad by sin and guilt, be happy now. That game is over. Now a quiet time has come in which we put away the toys of guilt and lock our quaint and childish thoughts of sin forever from the pure and holy minds of heaven's children and the Son of God. We pause but for a moment more to play our final happy game upon this earth. And then we go to take our rightful place where the truth abides and games are meaningless. So is the story ended. Let this day bring the last chapter closer to the world, that everyone may learn the tale he reads of terrifying destiny. Defeat of all his hopes, his pitiful defense against a vengeance he cannot escape, is but his own deluded fantasy. God's ministers have come to waken him from the dark dreams this story has evoked in his confused, bewildered memory of this distorted tale. God's Son can smile at last. I'm learning that it is not true. Today we practice in a form we will maintain for quite a while. We will begin each day by giving our attention to the daily thought as long as possible. 5 minutes now becomes the least we give to prepare for a day in which salvation is the only goal we have. 10 would be better, 15 better still. And as distraction ceases to arise to turn us from our purpose, we will find that half an hour is too short a time to spend with God, nor will we willingly give less at night in gratitude and joy. Each hour adds to our increasing peace as we remember to be faithful to the will we share with God. At times, perhaps a minute, even less, will be the most we can offer as the hour strikes. Sometimes we will forget. At other times, the business of the world will close on us, and we will be unable to withdraw a little while and turn our thoughts to God. Yet when we can, we will observe our trust as ministers of God in hourly remembrance of our mission and his love. And we will sit quietly by and wait on him and listen to his voice and learn what he would have us do the hour that is yet to come, while thanking him for all the gifts he gave us in the one gone by. In time with practice, you will never cease to think of him and hear his loving voice guiding your footsteps into quiet ways where you will walk in true defenselessness. For you will know that heaven goes with you, nor would you keep your mind away from him in a moment, even though your time is spent in offering salvation to the world. Think you he will not make this possible? For you who chose to carry out his plan for the salvation of the world and yours? Today, our theme is defenselessness. We clothe ourselves in it as we prepare to meet the day. We rise up strong in Christ and let our weakness disappear as we remember that his strength abides in us. We remind ourselves that he remains beside us throughout the day and never leaves our weakness unsupported by his strength. We call upon his strength every time we feel the threat of our defenses undermine our certainty of purpose. We will pause a moment as he tells us, I am here. Your practice will now begin to take the earnestness of love to help you keep your mind from wandering from its intent. Be not afraid nor timid. There can be no doubt that you will reach your final goal. The ministers of God can never fail because the love and strength and peace that shine from them to all their brothers come from him. These are his gifts to you. Defenselessness is all you need, give him in return. You lay aside what was never real to look on Christ and see his sinlessness. So beautiful. Lesson 153. In my defenselessness, my safety lies. Beautiful. Let's see what Magdalene has to say for us today. Greetings, beloveds. The world of defense is a construct, a mental construct of the ego. It is the belief that there is something that can be harmed. It is the belief that one must defend oneself from some danger that lives outside. Understand, beloveds, that in the true love, the true kingdom of God, there is no need for defense. There is no need for attack. There is truly only love. Only love can be expressed thusly. So in the laying down of the weapons of war, the thoughts, the words, the actions, the weapons, you come to truly understand that as a being who has been created by the divine source, all that exists around you is all that God has created. And all was created in love. Every moment, every interaction is neutral. There is innocence in everything that occurs. And when you lend your mind to this realization, when you lend your mind to this state of consciousness, there is indeed a miracle that occurs, beloved ones. And for that is the work that we are here to do. The miracle that occurs is you once again recognize the consciousness through which you were created. You recognize the love that endures, the purity that flows through your very essence. You come to remember, you come to see, you come to recognize that you are indeed as God created you. And in that creation, in that stunning action, beloveds, there is nothing to defend. There is nothing to protect. And when you stand open arms saying, I love you, love is what will return to you. Of that you can be assured. And when you allow yourself to see the beauty, to see the majesty, to see the purity in another, it is because you have allowed yourself to see that within yourself. You have allowed yourself to see the reflection of God that you are, the treasure of God that you are, the purity of God that you are, the light, the joy, the kindness, the innocence. And in this moment of pure neutrality, there is no judgment, there is no fear, there is nothing to attack, there is nothing to defend. For love has a quality to it that is all-encompassing, all-embracing, one that surrounds each and every being in each and every moment with a joy and a tenderness and a kindness that is true of love. So allow yourself today, beloved ones, to come to these moments. There is nothing to attack. There is nothing to defend. There is nothing that can be harmed. And you will find that the beliefs that you have had that said, this is my territory, this is my land, I must protect, all of that falls to the wayside. And there is naught but forgiveness that happens for you. And in that forgiveness, you feel the most profound feeling of love and of joy and of surrender. You surrender to the battle that you have fought within yourself. And here, beloveds, all manner of defenselessness comes to assist you, for there is nothing to defend. There is no battle, there is no war. There are no enemies. There is truly nothing to forgive, for you have come merely to the recognition that you are as God created you, pure, perfect, and divine. You feel within your heart the truth of these words. You know within your mind the purity and the innocence that you are. And then the miracle that occurs is that you begin to see that in all beings and in all circumstances. You forgive yourself for the choices that you have made for fear, for anger, for retaliation. You forgive yourself for the times that you have held grievances with others. You forgive yourself for, beloveds, the moments where you have forgotten that you are the purity of God's love, of God's desire. You allow yourself to remember that you are divine. You are holy. It can seem difficult when there are the mundane tasks of having to buy groceries and cook meals and interact with others, where you can find yourself heading in the direction of darkness. You live in a world where people judge one another, where people feel superior to another. But beloveds, understand that this is indeed the world of illusion. You believe that there are objects that you have that must be protected for the fear that someone would try and take them from you. You believe that there are relationships that are fragile. Nothing is fragile, beloveds, except the ego saying, you must protect this, you must defend this. This person will not like the news that you have to deliver. I must keep this a secret. I must tell them a lie. Beloveds, the one that you are lying to is yourself. So live within your truth, live within the light of God. There is nothing to protect, there is nothing to defend. And in your defenselessness, you shall find your salvation. The safety that you look for exists within your heart, for you are profoundly safe beyond imagination. There is nothing that could attack you. There is no harm that could come to you, for you are a being of eternal bliss and eternal love. What would there be that could possibly harm you? It is not the essence of you that lives in fear. It is the ego that has said we must protect and we must defend. But this too is illusion, beloved ones. So allow yourself today to come into stillness and to hear the voice of God that blesses you. Tune in to this frequency of love, which is all love, always. And that is your truth. Know that you have our blessings. It is our voices that whisper to you, that say, come home, come back to purity. Let yourself come to stillness long enough, beloved ones, to hear our voice. to hear our whispers of love. And may our whispers become the loudest voice that you have within your sense of reality. And there you will find the peace. Blessings to you, beloveds. Greetings, and we shall speak with you again. I wish you all the most beautiful day. Thank you for being here, and I'll see you again tomorrow. Bye, everybody.